So as health care reform remains at a standstill, Americans are hoping we're going to have more success with tax reform, but Charles Krauthammer has a warning. Take a listen.
We are so far behind on tax reform, and also incidentally on infrastructure, that we may not get a tax reform at all. The best we might get is tax cut, because everybody agrees on tax cuts, and that could blow a hole in the budget. So I think rocky days ahead.
To respond is Art Laffer, former economic advisor to President Reagan. So, Dr. Laffer, what do you think about Dr. Krauthammer's warning?
Well, I love Charles. He's wonderful. He's probably the most intellectual person I've met in ages. Except for you, of course, David. I mean, forgive me.
Please.
But he's just a lovely, lovely, wonderful guy. But he's totally wrong that tax cuts lead to a hole in the budget. He's wrong, wrong, wrong. If we cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 15%, just that, nothing else, it'd pay for itself 3 times over, for goodness sakes. Over 10 years it would. It's just phenomenally positive, pro-growth stuff that will lead to surplus. Do you think we had tax increases during Kennedy? Is that why we went into a surplus?
Right.
Do you think we had tax
Reagan.
increases under Clinton? That's why we went into a surplus? No, we had big tax cuts, economic growth. That's what led to the surplus.
Well, you're sensible because you're outside of the Beltway, but not everybody inside of the Beltway thinks the way Dr. Krauthammer does. You have Grover Norquist, who thinks we will be successful in getting tax cuts, not a wholesale tax reform, but specific tax cuts. Just taking a couple, chewing at the bit of the tax man. Maybe corporate tax rates, maybe a simplification. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think we're going to get a corporate tax rates, to be honest with you. That's where we get the real pump of adrenaline into the heart of the economy. That'll send the economy soaring, and that'll make us competitive with the rest of the world. We'll have all these businesses moving into the U.S. We'll be nirvana. No, just joking. It will be very good, David, and that's the one that really needed now.
What about the smaller companies, Art? What about the non-incorporated companies, the subchapter S's, et cetera? Will their rate be lowered to what they're? Because if it's just the big corporations that get the break and the little guys don't, that doesn't seem fair.
Well, Chapter S companies don't pay corporate taxes as it is. So what do you want? They pay the personal income tax. They're pass-through corporations. Yeah. And LLCs. How can you cut a tax that's already zero?
But shouldn't they pay, if we have the corporate tax cut down to 15%, shouldn't we guarantee that smaller businesses also get that cut?
Yeah, well, they should before they get it to the person. But what they do is they get the profits right to the individual himself. Yeah. Now, should all the people who get paid dividends from the big companies not pay personal income taxes on that?
Well, here's another one, Art. What about us regular folks that just pay individual tax rates of over 50% when you add everything in? Yeah, are we going to get any kind of cut in the first going at this?
You know, I feel very sorry for you, David. I do, especially working for such a small business as Fox.
Anybody who pays taxes, anybody who pays taxes feels that they deserve to pay less taxes.
Yes, they do, and I think we should have a flat tax across the board, just the way Jerry Brown proposed.
But will there be individual tax rate cuts?
I don't know if there'll be individual tax rate cuts this year, but the corporate tax, but we will get individual tax rate cuts in the 6th, 7th, 8th year of Trump. We'll get really great stuff.
That's pretty far off, Art.
Oh, come on. Now, I'm 77, David, and you're a youngster. You'll be able to make it.
7th year of Donald Trump. You don't think it's going to be any sooner than that for individual rates?
I didn't say that. I just don't want to lead you to false expectations. I don't want you to look
into the bag. After saying that we're going to have
at
nirvana? Yeah. What about simplification, Art? We now have 7 individual rates. Shouldn't we be down to the 3 rates that Mnuchin and the other economic team members want?
Yeah, I think 3 8's clearly better than 7. I think we should go down to 1 rate, to be honest, and just 1 flat rate to everyone, just like Jerry Brown did. 13% from the first dollar to the last dollar. Everyone pays the same rate.
But they keep repeating the mantra. Both Mnuchin and Gary Cohn and the others, they keep saying simplification is going to be at the heart of our tax plan. Do you think they're going to get it now, or will it just be a couple of tax rate cuts?
I think we will get simplification. I think we will get rate reductions. I think we'll get the corporate rate, and I think we will pass health care. Now, if you think it's all going to be done this year, I don't think so myself. But if it's done the next 2 or 3 years, you got to remember life's a long, long run.
I know.
And it's a marathon, David.
But once you get those tax cuts, the economy comes roaring back. Yeah. We saw it happen before. Yeah. The sooner, the better.
We want them now, please.
I want them now, too. I'm like chocolate. Okay. I want my chocolate now.
Well, this is more than chocolate. This is sustenance.
Like wine.
The economy needs it. Art, thank you very much.
I'm with you 100%.
Art Laffer, we love you. Thank you.